disaster. David Lyons has joined me in the commentary box for today's blockbuster. David, how do you think the French have prepared themselves psychologically for this game, knowing that they got blown away by the All Blacks just over 12 months ago?
Oh, well, thank you, Robbie. What a great evening here in Paris tonight. Good crowd. But looking back, really that occasion in the Rugby World Cup quarter-final was really the catalyst for change in French Les Bleus rugby. 6 players from that starting lineup are present here tonight, and that tells you how much has happened. We've got a new coach in Guy Novès who's really trying to implement some French flair into this game, and we saw it in periods last week against Australia where the French side witnessed 34 offloads, which is a good sign and something that he was very impressed with, so they'll be looking to do that again this week.
Disappointment against the Wallabies, but at the same time, this is work in progress for Guy Novès, who's really trying to implement a certain laissez-faire attitude within the ranks of this French team, who are fully capable of playing some outstanding rugby. That win over Samoa just a couple of weeks ago was very much a benchmark against a nation that always qualifies for the World Cup, but is not at the same level as the All Blacks or Australia, of course. Guy Novès and his players, they've avoided the word victory, funnily enough, this week, as if it was the plague in front of the press. Do you believe this is the right way to approach a clash of this kind, David?
Well, I think it is. You look at French mentality and you look at Guy Novès, and he's the most successful coach in European club history. He's trying to implement some of that success he's had with his club coaching into this French side. And I think that relies on attacking the French psyche. We all know the French play better when they're the underdogs, so he doesn't believe that they've earned the right to even talk about victory this week, and that's the attitude he's trying to instill on these players. He's trying to let them know it's a challenge like they've never had before, and they'll have to be up for it, and they'll have to play out of their skin if they're even to think about the word victory.
Well, we'll see after, of course, 80-odd minutes, when the match kicks off at 9 p.m. Central European time. Now, you've played against the All Blacks. You've beaten them with the Wallabies. What do you need to implement into your game to upset the top team in the world?
Well, I think we've seen it. We haven't seen it a lot this year, but a big indicator is that match at Soldier Field where Ireland upset the All Blacks. How did they do it? They did it by getting in the faces of the All Blacks. They did it by flooding the breakdown so that the All Blacks couldn't get any quick ball. And when they did that, All Blacks didn't look anywhere near as comfortable. They're so used to playing on the front foot, playing with quick ball, and we all know they have the skill set. If you give them time, you give them space, they can make you look silly. So for me, that's the key for France here tonight, is getting off the line, playing hard on the ground and not giving the All Blacks any time, any space. And if they do that with this massive crowd here tonight, they'll get behind them and you can expect the French to lift.
An extra bit of pressure on France as well comes from the victories earlier on today. The other big 3 nations from the Southern Hemisphere all losing. Australia losing in Dublin against Ireland just by a couple of points. South Africa losing against Wales in Cardiff, and Argentina going down against England. This is obviously a great opportunity for Northern Hemisphere to actually get one rare one over their Southern Hemisphere rivals.
Yeah, definitely. It's a big thing. Also looking forward to World Cup rankings and all the permutations of that. You don't want to fall out of the top 8 because it means you could be, when the draw gets done, you could be coming up in those pool of death spots. But I think all France has got to think about is how they're going to get in the faces of the All Blacks, and that'll be their focus here tonight.
Well, what a scenario. And there we can see Wesley Fofana very focused, just like all of his teammates. Guillaume Corrado, the captain. We're only moments away from kick-off at the Stade de France here in Paris for this massive encounter between the 3-time world champions, New Zealand and France. Players coming out onto the pitch. Of course, the weather absolutely ideal for this time of the year. 9 degrees, which is pretty mild for this time of the year. Hardly any wind, but the atmosphere. Hopefully, the fans will get behind the French and offer something just a little bit more electric from kickoff.
Yeah, definitely. There's really been an air of expectation around France this week, I think. I think even though they lost last week to Australia, there were some promising signs. And then that great victory the week before against Samoa. They're a team that's building, and I think they can sense there's a good performance coming soon, and everyone's hoping it's going to be tonight.
Time for the two national anthems.
God Griffin, New Zealand, va vous être interprété par la musique des sapeurs-pompiers de Paris. Mesdames, Messieurs, en l'honneur de l'équipe de France, la Marseillaise.
They're focused, they're ready to lock horns. Let's have a look at the two teams. Choki comes in to replace Cyril Bay in the front row. Girarda, the captain, Antonio of La Rochelle. Bahama Hina linking up with Maestri. Charles Oliver of RCT. Toulon, of course. Picamol and Gordon completing the back row. Machino links up with Lopez. Lopez comes in to start today ahead of Jean-Marc Dussam. And on the wings, we've got Noah Nakataki, Vilimi Vakatawa, Remy Lamara, Wesley Fofana, and Brice Dulin comes in to replace Scott Spedding, out injured. For New Zealand, Israel Dag at full-back. He'll replace Ben Smith with Iwasaki Naholo on the one wing. And Julian Surveyor, of course, on the other. Leonard Brown, Crotty, Perenara, Todd Reed, Kiner, Whitelock, Retalek, Franks, Coles and Moody. Well, the France just advancing towards the haka, and that was quite stirring, wasn't it? The French showing that they're not afraid of the mighty All Blacks, the All Blacks that put 60 points on them last year. This is going to be a mighty showdown. Wayne Barnes has a lot of responsibility with Federico Anselmi of Argentina, Dudley Phillips of Ireland, the two linesmen. A big game this is for France. It's a big game for New Zealand as well. Steve Hansen's All Blacks losing against Ireland in Chicago. Of course, they don't want to lose two matches in their autumn test tour.
Yeah, there's a big atmosphere around the ground. TJ Perenara there leading the haka, looking ferocious, and what a job he's got on his hands tonight. He's been given the starting jersey ahead of Aaron Smith, and he's expected to do well. A lot of pressure on him. We look at the French side, the big change there from last week. Kemi Lopez coming in to start at fly half, linking up with his Clermont centre teammates, and there's a big job on him. I think France's third number 10 in the last 3 weeks, so that's the key ingredient for me that they're missing at the moment. They're looking very dangerous in their centres and out wide, and up front they look good. Number 10 is the key, so France will be hoping he does it well.
What a showdown we have as Wayne Barnes blows the whistle to get this autumn test match underway. France up against the mighty New Zealand, and a first big hit from the kickoff. Wesley Fofana gets the ball. Oh, it's spillage right from the start. So we'll go back to the initial hit coming from the kickoff.
Okay, just be careful. Yeah, no, you still got it.
Being taken out in the air there, I think.
Brody Retallick
coming off up in the air, and clear penalty there. I think France will be happy with that. Garado dropping the ball there, and they'll be pretty happy that it's gone back, and not the sort of start they would have liked. But now a big opportunity, get into the New Zealand half and try and get in their faces with the ball in hand.
France sporting some new shirts, of course, and let's hope that it's a new era for Guy Novès. And that line out has been taken by Beauden Barrett. Beautifully timed there from the overthrown line out, but France picking the ball back up with Machino, Nakataki. This is a great drive, great running. This is perfect start for France. Into the New Zealand 22 they go. Picamol takes over. Running came from Kevin Gordon, having an outstanding stint with the French. Fofana out to Brice Dulin. Sees the gap. Good strong defence from the All Blacks. Another charge from Johan Maestri, the Toulouse lock. Vakatawa, no way through. Dulin out to Lopez. A big charge there from Antonio. Didn't have many options out wide, so a short pass into the hands of the big number 8, Louis Picamol. Well, New Zealand have turned the ball over. Here's Perenara, and plenty of time to kick the ball out by Beauden Barrett, but under a little bit of pressure in the early exchanges.
Yeah, good start, I think, by France. They probably wouldn't be happy with that execution. Planned move to go over the back early, but Beauden Barrett, he's one of the quickest in world rugby, over 10 metres, and he was on top of that. But some really enterprising play after that. Gordon, he's had a storming November. Looked good there, great pace, and then a lot of good phases. Just losing their way in the end with a good steal by Matt Todd, who's come in. He's done well when he's played this year, so he's a lot of pressure on him. But good first up steal, and they've got to be careful there, France. For all their enterprise last week, they let themselves down a little bit. We saw David Pocock getting in over the ball, so they've got to go in with numbers to the breakdown.
It was another ugly line out. He went over the top at this time. France keep hold of the ball. Into the 22 they go. Maxime Machino digging for it, gets the pass out to his captain, Gerardo. Good strong tackling. And Mr. Barnes very much close to the action. Brice Dulin just coming into the line. Little change of direction now with Lopez mixing things up. Remy Lamarat straight down the main channel. Machino doing very well. And a charge from Maestri. France with some good possession. So they need to make sure that they've got protection of the ball at the breakdown. That's where New Zealand are very, very lively, and they've just made a second turnover in the space of 3.5 minutes.
Was good, man on his feet. Just hold 9, wait for your winger, wait! Yeah.
Ball hoofed deep down into French territory. Going around the outside, Nakataki to his fellow Fijian Frenchman, if you like, Vakatawa, but that kick wasn't good, and it was scooped up quite easily by Israel Dag. Well, holding the ball on the ground. First, second penalty going against New Zealand. I'm sure in terms of discipline, they'll be very happy with that, the French staff. Handbags are swinging, a little bit of frustration.
Yeah, definitely. They've got to be careful, All Blacks, I think. 14-4 penalty count against them last week in Ireland, and that was really what kept Ireland in the game for periods. But the France, on the other hand, they play this game style where they spread their backs and forwards all the way across the field. And what it creates is opportunities for one-on-ones, and they're getting momentum, but what it also hinders them is in the breakdown. And every now and then, if they lose their way, don't get in early on the breakdown, they give up a turnover. So they've got to balance out that playing with width, with security of the breakdown. If they can do that, they'll look even more dangerous.
An ugly chip from Vakatawa over Beauden Barrett, but at the same time, there you go, that was the collision, if you like, that offered Cami Lopez with a chance to kick for touch. Didn't go for goal. Line out for France. Well taken by Maestri. And it looks like it's pretty well constructed. The All Blacks, of course, very dangerous defensively, causing all sorts of problems. But at the back, we've got Charles Olivon, who hits the deck. Penalty for the All Blacks, and just holding the ball on the ground. Now, that work in the driving maul defensively was just outstanding from the world champions.
Yeah, great stuff there. A real key of driving maul defence is getting him in a good position early, and All Blacks got in that good position early, which meant France had to roll around and they could isolate the French player. France, all this field position and possession, a few too many turnovers, I think, and that's what will worry them. Last week, playing against Australia, they made 34, beat the tackle 34 times, but turned the ball over 14 times on the floor. So already in this match, they've turned it over 3 times, so they'll look to rectify that.
The Crusaders lock, Sam Whitelock, just digging for the ball earlier on. Here's Beauden Barrett, little kick over onto the far side. It's well taken there. Beautiful stuff. And look who's got it, Xavier. This is going to be try number 1. Well, what an incredible start. And Israel Dag goes over for the first try of this confrontation here in Paris. And it comes after a very good spell of possession for the French. They've been slapped in the face with that reaction.
Yeah, great little planned move here by New Zealand. One thing about New Zealand they do, and they do it better than anyone, is that whenever they get an opportunity, more often than not, they find a way of scoring. Their execution is perfect. Obviously, a planned play here. They know that Nakatasi every now and then will come in from off his wing, and he's not the best under the high ball. What a good way. Perfectly weighted cross kick there. Perfect execution. And results 5 points to New Zealand.
Well, it's going to be 7, isn't it, logically, with Beauden Barrett just teeing it up. And it is indeed 7 points for the All Blacks here in France's own backyard. Good support play there from Israel Dag, and a fine score for the All Blacks just after France had a great spell of possession that they couldn't exploit.
Isn't it great? The All Blacks would have planned their first decent field position. They would have planned to test out the French wingers, and when it comes off so well like that, it makes all those hours on the training paddock worthwhile.
Whitelock with a clean catch from the kickoff. The ball box kicked from behind the ruck by Perinara. Picked up by Brice Dulin. Good running from Charles Olivon, just dodging bullets. Machino. Wesley Fofana. It does well with the offload. This is good play from France, and the ball does come out for Vakatawa. He's got support as well. This is Cami Lopez. He needs an extra man, but he nearly gets himself a little bit of momentum towards the try line. Knocked out a few yards out. Great play from France.
Well, isn't that a great example of how dangerous this French team are? We haven't seen any team really make breaks like this against New Zealand all year. Already made 3 clean line breaks, and very dangerous. They just need to finish.
TJ Perenara puts the ball out to Israel Dag, who has got a very good kick on him, of course, along with the sidestep and all of the other great skills that he has. Vakatawa. Johan Maestri. Around the fringes they go. This time it's Noah Nakataki. Pulled down to the ground by Retallick. Antonio. Cami Lopez out to Remy Lamarat. Does well to shrug off one tackler.
On man's leg.
Wesley Fofana. Noah Nakataki. Antonio. Maxime Machino. Wesley Fofana throwing the dummy. Trying to find an opening. Kane Cole's trying to steal the ball. Oh, another break from Charles Olivon. Chocky takes over his teammates from Toulon on the edge of the 22. France drawing a bit of pressure, but that's the turnover ball, and Kieran Reid does an exemplary rip from the ruck. Ball going back to Brice Dulin, who will clear his lines, and we're going to have ball kept in there by Barrett. New Zealand entering enemy territory. Israel Dag around the outside, but there was a block there, so Mr. Barnes has given a penalty to France.
Yeah, clear block there, but I think France will be pretty happy with their build-up to that earlier, as we see Dan Carter with a number of his New Zealand friends up in the stands there. Some good enterprising play by France. Olivon again going through. That's the 4th clean line break for France, and they look dangerous when they get the ball. They just got to work on their execution. We see New Zealand, when they make those line breaks, they seem to find a way to score. France on that occasion made a line break and then turned it over very next phase.
Guinoves seems to have found his the perfect back row now with the French national team, with Olivon, Gordon and Louis Picamol, of course. This is the opportunity here. Lopez thought that he'd actually just evaded the lunging grip of Naholo, but he finally goes down and then just nudged out for the line out. But that back line, well, we've got to change already. This is not good news for Fofana, who goes off. What's going on? Is this protocol just because he's received treatment? It looks that way. So we've got Gael Fickou of Toulouse coming on to replace him for at least 10 minutes. Hopefully it's just that.
Yeah, he looks okay. I think it's just protocol that you got to stick to the regulations, but they'll miss him. He's been in great form, Fofana, hasn't he? 4 clean line breaks last week. Looked dangerous a lot with Australia, but big opportunity here for France. Let's hope they'll execute.
Does extremely well to keep the ball in his hands going into the contact zone. Antonio. Maxime Machino sees a little gap. Oh, Charles Olivon just spilling the ball deep in New Zealand territory. It's going to be a scrum for TJ Perenara.
Yeah, first scrum of the match here, and we've got a big contest here in the front row. We saw France really dominate Australia last week, and All Blacks get the better of Ireland. in Dublin. We see Xavier Chocky on the loose head side. He's been rewarded with his second half performances last week, and he'll look to improve on that. Antonio, he's improving as an international prop as well.
Missing one of the other main props, of course, Jefferson Poirot, one of the up-and-coming stars of French rugby, playing, strutting his stuff down for Bordeaux, UBB. He's missing these matches, picked up a little injury. Look at the weight difference, David, that's massive.
Yeah, it's a huge pack. France have gone for a big pack with a big back row, but we don't get a chance to see it. Both sides going bound, and that's one of the problems with international rugby at the moment. The inches in the front row are so fine that as soon as anyone gets in a bad position, more often than not, they're inclined to go to the ground instead of fighting to get out of the position, because more often than not, once it goes to ground, it's a little bit of a lottery and the referee will blow it one way or the other. But seemed to me like both sides going down on that occasion. So New Zealand will be happy with it though. Relieving penalty to get out of their 15-metre line.
Well, New Zealand, they do like to sail close to the winds, don't they, as far as the rules are concerned, but they do it so well. And France will have to be at their best to try and prevent them from doing what they do best, which is just pinching the ball, making those turnovers, ripping the ball, and getting themselves good attacking positions. Little grubber kick from Israel Dag coming off the boot of a French leg. It's going to be a line out for New Zealand. 14.5 minutes in, 7 points to 0. One try scored by Israel Dag in the 7th minute. There it was, little kick through, and it was Brice Dulin who just managed to prevent the ball from going behind him.
Yeah, a little bit of a let-off.
I think there's that Johan Maestri receiving more treatment. He's in a bit of a bad place at the moment. That's the second time that he's gone down on his knees, and concerning for Guino Vez and his staff.
Yeah, I think they'll be a little bit concerned about that. He's really one of the leaders in this forward pack now, one of the experienced men, Maestri, in what is a very young forward pack. And with Pascal Pape no longer playing international rugby, they look for his guidance. But they have the Devedek coming on, who's really a bit more of a line-out general, and he'll probably improve them in that area.
Yeah, the Brive lock, just 30 years of age, and getting his fifth match for Les Bleus.
Big defensive test here for France. We saw the execution first time New Zealand had the ball. They're in a dangerous attacking position here, and France, it's a big test for their set-piece defence.
Good clean take from the line-out by Kieran Reid. Another charge from Matt Todd this time. And Bowden Barrett with that little kick just behind Noah Nakataki, but it's picked up. But no advantage being played, as you can hear Mr. Barnes say that. So we have a clear-cut opportunity for 3 points for New Zealand if they want to go for the sticks.
Just absolute silly stuff by Van Wiener on that occasion. We'll see it on the replay, but France really doing well. 2 great tackles, getting up off the line, chopping the space in New Zealand, really had the ascendancy. Van Wiener just comes from nowhere, dives over the ruck and obstructs the 9. Just a silly penalty, and one that France didn't need. They'd done all the hard work, they defended well, and these are the type of things you can't do. This New Zealand side is too classy. Just saw it there, Van Wiener off his feet, diving over, and just a poor decision making. And really, that's what international rugby is all about at the top end. It's your decision making under pressure, and that's what wins the big games. And big opportunity, New Zealand should go up 10-0 here.
Wesley Fofana, good news for France. Looks like he'll come back onto the pitch in a couple of moments' time after Bowden Barrett's penalty. Who slots it over, no problems there. 10 points for New Zealand, and no points just yet for Les Bleus. Well, Beauden Barrett has been quite an inspirational player. He's the 2016 World Rugby Player of the Year, part of the Team of the Year as well. Quite outstanding. 25 years of age, playing his 49th match for the All Blacks. Perenara's box kick over the top. And that's gone out. It's a well-weighted effort and just pushing France back towards their own 22.
They're just so organised, the All Blacks. They just know in situations what they're going to do. We saw on that occasion just very clear option taking. Perenara putting a great kick down in the corner, good chase, and now pressure's back on France.
Coles picks up the ball. It was scrappy in the line out, but a good defensive play from France. And the penalty has been given to France. Girardo working very well at the breakdown, and the moment that it's not a clean set piece is the moment that obviously the opposition can go and try and rip the ball. Exactly what he did.
Yeah, great work, Girardo. Really an inspirational captain steal on that occasion. New Zealand have got a couple of those against France, and for France to get one back, they'll get a lot out of that. I think it'll lift the forward pack, and they'll look to build into this game here. If I was France, I'd like to see them rally the ball in the forwards a little bit here. We know the French mentality. They like to take them on up front. For the start of this game so far, they've played it quite loose, played on the edges. If I was Girardo, I'd tell them to keep it in a bit tight, try and rally the troops a little bit. Looks like what they're doing here.
Charles Olivon. Very solid in the line out. Louis Picamol with a great charge, just arcing around the outside, but it's turnover ball for the All Blacks. Beauden Barrett gets the ball out to his centre, Leonard Brown. Israel Dad coming into the line. Kevin Gordon trying to steal the ball in the tackle. Beauden Barrett, very quick hands to get the ball out wide to UnionFrance. Crusaders prop. It's another one of those cheeky kicks, and that's gone out on the full. So we're going to go back to where he kicked it, and a line out for France. Going to take a quick one or not? I'm afraid that Mr. Barnes wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, better set by France there, getting some good hits in, going in with a couple of double-man tackles, putting a little bit of pressure on New Zealand, which meant they had to force the kick a little bit. Just looking here in the back play, though, I think New Zealand have really done their homework. They know that for all the danger the French wingers possess in attack, their position play in defence is a little bit off, and they're not very experienced, particularly Vakatawa in the 15-man game, and that's why I think we've seen New Zealand a lot dab their little kicks in behind, and very often they're isolating Doolan down in that bottom right-hand corner, and his wingers are nowhere to be found. Good tactics by New Zealand. France really need to get the message out and get Doolan some help back there.
Lamara just slightly miffed by the linesman's decision and the referee's decision not to allow him to take the quick line out, because it went 5 metres, but in any case, getting back into the heart of the action. Kevin Gordon staying up on his feet, showing great marauding skills, is the La Rochelle flanker. Since he started to represent his country only a few weeks ago. Shockey. Fahamahina, Wesley Fofana. That's a good line coming in from Girardo. Brice Doolan, who looks for the break. The offload is fantastic to Gordon. Now France starting to chuck the ball around and just keeping up that pace. Camille Lopez gets the ball out to Nakataki. Nakataki, well, he just gets past 2 defenders, still up on his feet, and finally gets flung down to the ground. This is great play. Oh, that was not a good pass to Maxi Machino, but it went backwards. Nakataki around the outside again. Difficult man to bring down. He's got wonderful footwork. Machino, Camille Lopez. Again, the ball comes out to Ledvedek, the substitute. Running out of options here, a couple of players out wide, but Louis Picamol, Kevin Gordon, it all looks like it's in slow motion at the moment over on that far side. Maxi Machino, that's very well played. Oh, Chocky! Well, wonderful running from the Toulon prop. Well, there's knock-on, a blatant knock-on. Now, watch out, France, because this is where New Zealand are very dangerous indeed.
A little bit lucky there, I think, New Zealand. I think France executed a very good turnout, but it was just Retallick coming through. I thought it was a little bit from the side, putting the boot in there. I think they'll be a little bit disappointed. Really some great offloads. They were in behind New Zealand and just great offloading and straightening up. They look a lot better. Doolan was the one that initiated it, putting that acceleration on, sucking in the New Zealand defence. And then from there it was just running straight, good hands, good offloading, and France, they look dangerous. They just haven't got that execution in the last couple of minutes.
Remy Lamara had a great opportunity to actually get the ball out wide, but he cut inside rather than going outside. It was 3 against 1, so the overlap was there. France throwing away a golden opportunity. The driving more, but it's not going in the right direction for the moment. Well, a couple of All Blacks in the wrong position. Maxi Machino breaks loose. Ball went backwards, not a problem. They need to be well organised and keep the ball in hand here. France, if they want to consolidate possession, they've got an advantage here. Problem with Joe Moody not getting himself out of there. Wonderful break from Camille Lopez. He hasn't got any support into the 22. There you go. Quick ball from Wesley Fofana. Out to Brice Doolan. Nakataki. Oh, this is good play, Wesley Fofana, but he's given the ball back to one of his opponents. The advantage being played. We're going to go all the way back to an incident earlier on. Was it...
Yeah, just Joe Moody there, getting on the wrong side of the tackle.
Yes, exactly.
Really, sometimes it's difficult, that one. You try and make the tackle, and then before you know it, the covering players are jammed in and there's no way to go. But good decision, I think, and you need to keep players out of that situation. Joe Moody needed to roll earlier, but geez, France, they're looking dangerous, aren't they? It's just that couple of times, if the last pass goes to hand, they're way under the post, but they'll be quite pleased with some of the stuff they're doing out there.
I'm just well impressed, David, with the field position and the support play from the French, because they're not getting isolated. It's something that we've seen so many times before. You get punished immediately. Your opponent's well organised, can just launch a counter-attack straight away. On this occasion, you can see that the French are really supporting each other, and that basically means that Guy Novès really has rallied the troops and created a team out of all of the players that he's decided to handpick from all corners of France. Maxi Machino with a chance to put the first points up on the scoreboard for the home side. Fine strike indeed, over it goes. 3 points for France and 10 points for the All Blacks.
He'll be pleased with that. Machino hasn't been in good kicking form. I think he's just hitting them at around 60% leading into this game, and was quite costly for them last week against Australia. So he'll be pleased to hit the first one well and finally get a few points for a bit of reward for all the field position France have had in this match.
Not much in this clash. 25 minutes in. Well, a little bit of skullduggery from the All Blacks from the kickoff. They win the ball back. Forwards working hard to keep hold of the ball. Whitelock gets good tackle from Camille Lopez. Bowden Barrett. The big lock. Retallick takes the ball into the 22. Now, this is where they're dangerous. Bowden Barrett finally gets grounded by French defence. Israel Dag just nose dives down to the ground, who gains an extra yard. Strong tackling coming in. This time it's Matt Todd, who is tackled very well. The ball's been pinched, and that's turnover ball. Great stuff there from, I think it was Remy Lamarin. Well, that's impeccable. That's sterling work at the breakdown. And France find themselves clearing the ball an extra 20-30 minutes. Look at the work there from Remy Lamarin. Very strong hands there, David.
Yeah, great work by the Clermont centre, but really good defence by France. New Zealand threw everything at them, and they really stood up well. They tested a lot on the inside passes, and it's a key. It shows how well you're working in defence. If you show up for that inside ball, more often than not, you could just be lazy, but every now and then you get tested, and if you show up there, like they did on that occasion, it shows you're working hard.
It's not often you get the chance to rob a bus. Here are the French moving forward. 27 minutes gone in the first half. Maxime Machinot takes the ball forward after the driving maul. Girardeau. This is good stuff from the French. They've got a very deep line of attack. Wesley Fofana, can he get the ball out wide? Can he go all the way back to Tower? The offload to Wesley Fofana is very close, but there's a great tackle there coming in from, I think, is it the centre, Lynette Brown, who comes to save the day for the All Blacks.
Well, tail of the match so far, this for France. Great little forward drive. We talked about it earlier, that we'd like to see them keep it in and then just flinging it wide. Great drawing and passing, something that we see New Zealand do a lot. And then just if this pass goes to hand, Wesley Fofana would have fallen over the line, and that's what international rugby is about, inches, and this is a perfect example. That pass, if it's a little bit longer, goes right in the middle of Wesley Fofana's hand. He falls over the line, and we could easily be 10 points all.
And we've got a scrum on the 5-metre line. And this is going to be a good opportunity here for France to just show their strength. They've got 50 extra kilos in this big unit. Let's see if they can try and shove the All Blacks off the set piece. It's a big ask.
Yeah, very we talked about it before. This is probably the most difficult position in the whole entire field to play from. Deep in your right-hand corner. You don't have a real blind side to play with for the 8 and 9. So what the French scrub will try and do, will try and angle the All Blacks into that touch line and negate their opportunities. So a big test, and this is the one, this is the type of situation that's a real test of the communication between the 8 and 9. How do you play out of these difficult situations?
Possession, 59-41. France with the upper hand in the first half an hour of play here in Paris. Well, they locked that down indeed. Now, running out of their own 22. It's a charge from Lynette Brown, the Chiefs' centre. Perinara out to Bowden Barrett. Kick finds touch. French player down as he was charging through. Let's see who it is. Oh, it's Guillaume Girardeau who's gone down.
Really great work on that occasion by Joe Moody. The French front row really angling in on the loose head side there to try and put some pressure on him. The left side of the All Black scrum stayed strong, and
behind the ball.
Got to be careful there.
Yeah, mate, he's a hooker, sorry. I said I'd look after the captains as well.
Well, there was a collision between the two hookers, and it was Coles who stopped Guillaume Girardeau from trying to block that clearance kick from Bowden Barrett. He goes down. It seems to be a bit winded. Nothing more serious than that, I hope.
It didn't look anything too bad. I think possibly the All Black player wasn't looking too bad, but they are the masters at it, the All Blacks. Louis Picamol just appealing to the referee there. Can you have a second look, sir?
Well, his English has improved over the last 6 months, I can tell you that.
Into the line,
Since he moved to Northampton after spending pretty much all of his career down in Toulouse. having grown up in Pic Saint-Loup, which is just outside of Montpellier. Line out, very nicely and cleanly won by Les Bleus. Ball coming out wide, let's see what they can do. Oh, Nakataki just blocks and not able to get a clean run through to try and pick up that grubber.
Tackle!
Penalty. The tackler not releasing the tackled player. Therefore, the ball not coming out.
A little bit unlucky there, France. It was nearly a maul situation, wasn't it? But pretty impressed with that first phase by France. We said earlier that France are much more dangerous side when they get clean ball and they execute. We saw a really nice play there. The number 9 sweeping around, using Louis Picamol, sucking in a number of defenders and then throwing it out wide with a good little kick by Dulin on the end of it. Much better stuff. When France execute first phase, they're a side that puts a lot of pressure on. Really nice little play and a well-executed kick.
He's a wily contender, our number 9 for the All Blacks, TJ Perenara. Here he is again, getting the ball out to Barrett. A little chip over the top. It's cheeky. Wesley Fofana does exceptionally well. Gets the ball out to Vakatawa. Arcs around the outside, but finally gets grounded from a hit coming in from the All Blacks. It's going to be a line out for France, not the visiting New Zealanders.
France getting the throw in here. Very lucky. Again, we see France getting isolated in that back play there. They've really got to sort that out because New Zealand will be happy to put the ball in behind all day and rely on their defence putting pressure on France, and they've got to sort that out back there.
Okay, we'll just start getting the big gaps both sides now, okay? Can you work on them at the front? Okay, here we come. Couloir. Stay there, please.
Ledvedek doing well in the line-outs. Nakataki contains the ball at the back.
Inside! Use it! Inside.
Giving the ball back to New Zealand from that kick from Machino. Israel Dag. And a change of direction. Beauden Barrett with his delightful kicking game. Unable to find some space. There was good cover play there from Brice Dulin at the back. It's not a problem for him when he's got a bit of space. And he prefers to actually run out of his own 22 rather than kick. But I think up against the All Blacks, sometimes you've got to make the right choice.
No, definitely. But again, we saw that. It's Brice Dulin just in the back play by himself. When you're out there by yourself, you've got no options. You've got no passing option. So you, more often than not, if it's a good chase, you've got to kick it back.
New Zealand working around the edges. Quick ball coming out. Beauden Barrett looking for an option. He didn't have it on that occasion. Israel Dag wasn't off his right shoulder. Turnover ball for France if they want it. Well, it's been poached once again. And I think that it did get knocked for it. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good call by Wayne Barnes.
I'm not sure. First man into contact. First man into contact.
Now look at Guillaume Garado once again. He's causing a right stink at the breakdown.
First scrum for blue.
Remy Lemeray and Guillaume Garado in everything there. The 13 really tackling well and really fighting on the ground. We saw it earlier on the kick chase by him, really fighting hard and leading the way for the French in defence, and they'll be looking for a few of the others to follow them up.
One player just in your picture there, Thierry Dusautois, Titi Dusautois, the former Toulouse man, still down there of course, but former captain of France, just decided to hang up his boots internationally, just after the Rugby World Cup last year. What a great player he is and was.
Again, the scrum going down on it once more here. I think the referee's starting to lose a bit of patience with this. We've seen a lot go down so far.
Just keep working with that line. That's all that matters. Okay. Both of you keep
Moody
it
seemingly
down.
just losing his blind there and going down. I think they'll have to be careful. Good attacking position for France here. Not a bad spot to attack from this area of the field because the wingers are back because they're worried about the kicking option from France. So if you play it well, you get a good, clean scrum. You give yourself the option of running and then kicking if it doesn't work.
Scott. Under 5 minutes to go before the half-time whistle. Still not much between these two teams. France with a lot more possession as well. It's 3 for the host, 10 points for New Zealand. Just that one try scored by Israel Dag and the conversion kicked by Bowden Barrett, separating these two nations. Well, that's...
Not 10.
Famuina twisted very awkwardly in that tackle, and the grimace on his face, he's trying to shake it off. Brice Dulans looked dangerous at the back. The re-injection by Guy Noves into this starting side, he's looked dangerous. He's got great acceleration and keeps the defence in two minds.
But he's been drawn in to replace Scott Spedding, who really was the standout French international in the Rugby World Cup last year in England. But he picked up a bit of an injury last week against the Wallabies and finds himself out of action. Brice Dulans just slotting straight in, the Racing 92 player. 25th match for France. Great atmosphere here at the Stade de France in Paris. The Marseillaise being sung by the fans, the Pena Bayona from the Basque Country as well. It's all good. They need to get themselves some more points, turn that possession into points.
Use it!
Taken quickly, Camille Lopez hit hard as he was going down. Machino. Wesley Fofana gets hit very hard after he released the ball. Not a problem. Yem Girardo over the halfway line. Machino. Ledvedek. Just the short passes, just to suck in the defenders so that they can create some space out wide. It's just a question of time before they actually decide to use some of their very dynamic wingers, centres, and of course Brice Dulans. But the ball slowed down considerably. Kevin Gordon. Oh, it's great play that was from Ryan Crotty, just coming up very quickly. And now they've been pushed back 5-10 metres.
Yeah, the All Blacks are really sensing that they're getting back into this match. Their defence has gone up another gear in the last 5 minutes and putting a lot of pressure on France, who didn't have the options that they had early in the match.
Bakatawa getting blocked to a certain extent by Naholo, I think. And it's going to be a penalty for France. This is a great opportunity. We've got just over a minute remaining in the first half. Wonderful work from Charles Olivant once again. But they can go for the sticks from here and try and reduce the arrears to just 4 points.
Yeah, great chase there, particularly by Olivant. We talked earlier about France getting isolated. But look here, you got 3 or 4 French players steaming down. Really good tackle by Vakatawa on that occasion. And Olivant, like any good flanker should, straight in over the ball, good body position. And the All Blacks, they worked hard in defence there to try and get their own turnover, but didn't work back to help their fullback, and hence opportunity for 3 points for France.
Yeah, he also got blocked at the same time. There's Dan Carter, of course, and Sid Smith to the right-hand side of him. Of course, plenty of All Blacks who are plying their trade in the top 14. Dan Carter at Racing 92, and Conrad Smith down with Simon Mannix down at the Section Paloise, or Pau, down on the foothills of the Pyrenees. Maxime Machino. finally struck. It's got the legs, and France now have 6 points. New Zealand 10, and that's pretty much going to be the half-time scoreline, I can imagine. We might just get the kick-off.
The last play, Bowden.
Last play of the half. They've battled hard in this first half, David.
Yeah, definitely. France have definitely had the run of play for majority of the match. It's just been New Zealand's class that's allowed them to keep in front from the small amount of ball they've had. But you look at France, if they executed a bit better on a number of occasions, they could be going into the half-time with the lead.
Well, ball just taken out there by Maxime Machinot, and I think that was definitely the right thing to do. When you don't get a clean catch from the kick-off and you're under a bit of pressure from your opposition, just take it out, take it out. So we have our half-time scoreline: France 6, New Zealand 10. Welcome back to the Stade de France. The second half is only moments away for this autumn test match between France and New Zealand. Well, the score stand at 6 points for Les Bleus, 10 points for New Zealand on this coldish evening in the Stade de France, just in northern Paris, just behind the Sacré-Cœur that you can see in the background on your screens. Well, it's been quite an enterprising first 40 for France. They trail by 4 points, but they've had the majority of possession. But they haven't managed to make that final pass work. 61% to 39 possession of the ball, and territory 67% to 33, with just 10. Well, they've lost 10 balls and 3 for New Zealand. It just goes to show that their attacking intent is very much something that they've really worked on going into this game. Now, David, if I can pick your brains regarding the island loss in Chicago just a couple of weeks ago, do you think that's playing on the mind for the staff for New Zealand, Steve Hansen and co? Is it something that they're looking at, thinking, well, we've lost against Ireland? Have they inserted a grain of doubt inside of their heads, this Ireland team, following that win?
I don't think they've inserted a grain of doubt. I think maybe it's given France a little bit of inspiration, and it's given the All Blacks just that little opportunity to check themselves, I think, have a good look at their game and improve, because it's very tough when you're winning week in, week out, like the All Blacks have done this season, a record-breaking winning run, unless the team can get a little bit complacent, and that's what they did to some extent against Ireland. Ireland played very well, mind you, but France gave them an opportunity just to check themselves. But you're looking at here tonight, I think France, they've really taken some good opportunities. 3 or 4 occasions in that first half, if they get a final pass away or the ball sticks, France could be in front at half-time here tonight. So they'll be pretty pleased. They need to sort out a couple of things, but if they find a way to do that, it's game on.
What about Camille Lopez coming in? Of course, Francois Tranduc out injured for a few months, the Toulon fly half. Camille Lopez of Clermont playing with a number of his teammates, of course, Lamar, Fofana and co. But he's been orchestrating quite well tonight.
He's looked good, I think. Obviously got a good combination with Fofana in particular. And he's just distributed well. He's straightened the attack up a little bit, which is something that we haven't seen a lot of France doing in the last couple of matches. He's just straightened up the attack and gave the men outside him opportunities, and they've taken them. France haven't made a lot of clean breaks first off, but what they've done, they've made little half breaks and got the offload in behind them, and then they build from there. They build pressure down in these channels, and New Zealand haven't looked content all match in defence. It's been quite impressive stuff, something we haven't seen that many line breaks from an opposition against New Zealand probably all season.
Yeah, well, they seem to have rattled the Kiwis for the time being, but well, New Zealand's still ahead by 4. We know that at the 60-minute mark, when they make their changes, well, they click into a different gear, a gear that no other team can really deal with. It's so often that we see these scorelines where they're not ahead by many points, but they come on strong in the second half. Do you think that they'll be able to do that against the French here tonight?
Well, we'll have to wait and see, but definitely that's really the mark of this All Black side. You got the likes of Savia, Cruden, Aaron Smith tonight on the bench. We've got some top-class players who, if France let their standards off, if they get a little bit sloppy in defence, the All Blacks will capitalise.
Second half of this autumn test match between France and the All Blacks. Here we go for the second 40. And a bit of pressure there on Sam Whitelock, the Crusaders' lock. But he does well. Well, that's taken a deflection. It's going to be a line-out for the All Blacks. Picked away by TJ Perinara, the Hurricanes, number 9.
Better start by France. They're putting some good pressure on their kickoff, and they'll be happy with it about that.
Whitelock again, imperious in the air.
There you go, three! Once.
Perinara out to Beauden Barrett. Oh, they're dangerous, those little kicks over the top, the little chip kicks. He's got a sublime right foot on him, hasn't he, Beauden Barrett? But it's ball's been won here by France. Antonio makes the break. Oh, he's going to cut a line. And the ball's been knocked backwards there by Retallick. And New Zealand win the ball back just because of that final pass. Beauden Barrett's gone back into the 22, but that's still in play. Vakatawa out wide. Oh, he's been snagged.
No.
Nakataki out wide. Ledvedek. That ball looked like it got knocked forward, but Mr. Barnes says no, it's okay. Oh, it's a great charge that is from Vahamahina. Now they want quick ball here. Lopez, Antonio gets the ball out to Lamarat. One of the players they really need to beat, just as a wingman out wide. Good play from France. They got numbers. Oh, why didn't they get the ball out wide? They had an overlap of about 3 or 4 players straight down the main channel. Ball's still in, says Mr. Barnes. Oh, it's an interception. Beauden Barrett has read that impeccably. He's running the full length of the pitch, and that's going to be try number 2 in the 3rd minute for the All Blacks. What a blow for the French. What a blow.
Yeah, great stuff there by Barrett. France really getting on top. Some great offloads, some great attacking play. And on that occasion, Machino, I don't know whether he got held back or what happened, but he was slow to the breakdown. That allowed New Zealand to get reset and then allowed Barrett to get off the line. But really some great play, and Lemarat, great work to hold on to the ball on that occasion.
No players in there. Yeah.
They'll be disappointed with that. France looking so dangerous. When you're getting on top, making so many line breaks against New Zealand, and then all of a sudden you're down under your post, and the French side haven't even made it back here. We don't see it on that occasion, but Machino very slow to that breakdown. I don't know if he was exhausted. We see him walking in the back play now, and that just allowed Barrett to get reset, get back on his line, and then get off the line very quickly and snagged it like a thief in the night under the post, and you won't catch him once he gets a start on you.
Yeah, fantastic interception try there by Beauden Barrett. We have a change, and on comes another Barrett, I believe. I think we've got Scott Barrett, who's the younger brother of Beauden Barrett, who is playing his 4th match for the All Blacks. Just 23 years of age, and Rayeko Ione, who's come on. And he's the 8th youngest All Black making his test debut. That was against Italy. Just 19 years of age. And it's Brodie Retallick, who's obviously gone off, the Chiefs man, heaviest player in this All Black pack at 120 kilos.
No.
Yeah, this is where France needs to be careful here. Again, we saw New Zealand getting on the front foot, and what did they do? They didn't run it. They sucked the wingers up, put a good little kick in behind, and Steve Hansen upstairs here will be a bit disappointed they infringed after a good kick with a good chase.
Dion, just be careful in the air from the kickoff. In the air, just be careful.
France have a line out.
Thank you.
Just a shove in the back on Machino. Line out here for Girardo. They need to hit back as quickly as possible, but they won't do it like that. And Charles Olivon making his first error of the game, really. Knocking the ball forward. Perinara, Bowden Barrett. It's the ball out to the new man on the pitch, Rico Ione.
I thought it was a good tackle, mate. When you got the ball.
Brice Dulin.
Bring them.
Fine kick upfield. Up to the 5-metre line. But of course, it's been very well marshalled by Barrett at the back, who clears his lines up to the halfway line. We'll have a line out for France. They need to hit back as quickly as they can because, well, that 11-point lead it'll start to sting after a while, especially when they bring on the subs in about, 15 minutes' time.
Yeah, Barrett there. We see that type of thing time and time again by him. Just reading it. France really had numbers on the outside on that occasion, but Barrett just getting off the line. And you can't pass that ball. You've got to have a look and not pass it straight into him.
More problems in the line-out. There's two successive line-outs that France have given back to the All Blacks. Israel Dag out wide. Strong tackling there. Perinara, Bowden Barrett, those little chips over the top are so dangerous. That's well collected by Remy Lamarat. Now, what can they do with this? Too much traffic down that main boulevard for Wesley Fofana to try and find some space. We need to use those quick feet of his. Here's Remy Lamarat, gets the ball out to Girardo. Not many options here. Brice Dulin. Tackle from Coles. That's better. Going for the deeper option. Xavier Choki into the tackle. Charles Olivon trying to redeem himself after a couple of line-out misses. Lopez. And Vakatawa just out-muscled there and taken over the pace. It's going to be a line-out for New Zealand.
Yeah, Paul ball security there by Louis Picamoles. We haven't really seen him in this game that often. He's normally the go-to man for France. They use him to get on the front foot, but his involvements have been low.
Well, he is the future scrum half for France, there's no doubt about it. Baptiste Serin, he is just, an exceptional player. Plays for Bordeaux, 22 years of age. And we also have a change with Charlie Faumuina, who's the Blues player coming on to replace Owen Franks. But this is interesting. It's interesting that in the 48th minute, Guinevere has said, let's get Serin on. Now, he's the complete scrum half, this guy. Good hands, good quick hands, a wily character, good kicking game as well.
Well, I think Machino looks like he's been struggling, but he's been very slow to the breakdown the last 5 minutes. I don't know if he's injured or getting tired, but that was the result of that intercept try. Machino being very slow to the breakdown. So I think a good change. Nothing to lose here for France.
Dulin. Lamara out to Nakataki. Around the outside he goes. Hasn't got the support. Needs to be careful that he doesn't get isolated. Well, he gets back up on his feet thanks to a New Zealander. Cami Lopez. Choki. This is good play. Brice Dulin. Oh, Brice Dulin tries to ghost through. Oh, he does well. There's Serin. Well, this is a fantastic play. Don't know how he managed to do that. Antonio barrels his way a little bit further and closer towards the try line, into the 22. Sam Whitelock coming off his feet. Nakataki. Well, there's
Okay there, not here.
two infringements there. Antonio finally makes the clear out, but they win the penalty. It's better play from France. They need to just keep possession of the ball, make sure they've got the protection to actually move forward.
Yeah, great speed of play by France. I think Serran has really injected some speed. He's getting the ball in, getting it out, and the runners aren't. France looks so much better when they're storming onto the ball at pace. What that creates is sucks in defenders and lets the other defenders get around, so they get their arms away. Good work by Doulan here, and look at the support play. There's 3 or 4 players coming through.
There's the big man, Vaha Mahina, just helping him, but that quick ball, as you saw from Serran, just keeping the ball alive. That's something that we see so much in the Southern Hemisphere. It's something that we'd like to see a little bit more in the Northern Hemisphere. Eddie Jones has done that with England, of course. The Welsh are fully capable of doing it. The Irish are just outstanding with their full unit, but for the French, this man here could be the main man behind France's resurgence. The kick's good as well. 9 points for France, 17 for the All Blacks.
Yeah, I think it's really pretty dynamic by both of you. I just thought what White did then, just went after the ruck and forth.
Yeah, White Crockett just coming in, second man in there. The referee telling him to let it go and just held on that little bit too long. Forced the referee's hand.
Good take from P. Kamal, under a bit of pressure from his opposite number, Kieran Reid. Anton Lienert-Brown at fault there.
Yeah, they've got to be careful here, New Zealand. The last thing they want to do, they've got a good 8-point lead, is to give France a free ride back into their territory. France will lift from that, and now all of a sudden they're going to have a line out down in New Zealand's half with another opportunity to get back on the scoreboard.
And it's a fantastic kick just outside of the 22. It's exactly where the French want to camp out. And it's sterling work there, and a good attacking line out for Les Bleus in front of their own crowd here. Will start to get behind them.
Going for a shorter line out here. Louis Picamole's out in the back line. He'll be looking to add a bit of pace onto the ball.
Well taken by Olivon. We haven't seen them produce a successful driving maul. Well, that was good play. Oh, that's fantastic from Serran, just around the outside. Down the blind side, but there's going to be a line out for the All Blacks. That happens so quickly. I think it was Ledvedek who just managed to accelerate away.
Great defence by New Zealand in the line out, but what it did, they turned the line out. Ledvedek popping out, finding a little bit of space and getting some great little offload away, and dangerous here. And what I think France needs to do, New Zealand's been putting a lot of pressure on the French line out. France have gone to a line out where they have their number 9 in the line at the front, and hasn't really worked that well. Retallick, Reid, they've been getting up in the air, and France is giving New Zealand too easy ball again on this occasion. They've got to get up, get in front of New Zealand, put some pressure on in these areas.
Well, they've been penalised there. There's a French player just falling on the wrong side of the ball. I think it was Kevin Gordon.
Okay.
It's just unfortunate there, but that's all it takes. All it needs is a player who just can't get his body away from where the tackled player is, and the referee is all over it very quickly.
Well, you know, as soon as the tackler goes down, you know you've got to get out of there, or worst case, you've got to at least make a big effort to get out of there, even if you're not. If you're making a big effort to get out of there, as we look back into the line out here, good work by New Zealand to get amongst it, but then Ledvedek just getting a nice pop away, and Would have liked to see Vakatawa, if he was ready for that, there would have been a little opportunity to get the second offload in, but didn't happen.
All happened in a split second. Dane Coles with a fantastic tackle on Serran. And the clearance kick, not a great one, but just outside of the 22, but it's been well won by Whitelock, leading by example in the set piece. Perinara's box kick. Dulan, clean take from the high ball, but now under a lot of pressure. Serran gets a good clean pass out. Lopez, that's better. Nakataki. It's a different kind of defensive lineup by the All Blacks compared to Samoa, compared to Australia. They're up really quickly, so it doesn't really give Vakatawa the chance to arc around the outside. They have to keep on moving quite quickly. Serran doing well. Here's Gordon. Good support from the clear out. Ball didn't get knocked. Serran digging for the ball. Trying to cut it loose desperately. Wesley Fofana. Oh, just a lot of balls. Oh, that's gone out finally.
Really good defence by New Zealand there, showing France the outside. Fofana going for it, but then they swamped him, didn't they? Came across, put pressure on him to put him over the sideline. Good little play by France, just shifting the ball. But on that occasion, once New Zealand get across there, that's the opportunity for Fofana to put the kick in and keep the movement going. It's not the occasion that you want to get pushed over the sideline.
If you actually look at the number of phases where you've had Beauden Barrett kick the ball rather than chuck it out wide, it's been a lot more than the French when they're moving forward. Just something to note.
What it does, it keeps the opposition in two minds.
You got to read it first of all, and it's difficult to read what Beauden Barrett's going to do. He's got plenty of tricks up his sleeve. Here he is, Beauden Barrett with another kick. This time it goes out. That's how they scored their first try. That's a wonderful take there from the winger, Naholo, on the edge of the 22.
That is a ruck.
New Zealand still ahead by 8 points. Perinara, now they're chucking the ball out wide. Coles into the contact zone.
No, not now. Good work, Flo.
Kieran Reid. Tony Lopez trying to rip the ball out of the captain's hands. Not a good pass. Might slow them down. Oh, the offload after the tackle is just outstanding. Ione just moving forward.
It's okay, le premier joueur.
Slowed down considerably. They don't really like that. It's a blocked ball, but it's knocked forward. Well, that was. I would have thought that would have been a knock-on by the All Blacks. It was blocked by the foot, wasn't it? But in any case, Mr. Barnes closer to the scene of the crime than I am.
Okay, there's another rule about us having a proper dialogue. Now calm down.
Yep.
And must be back on his feet, play the ball on the floor.
Third occasion there, TJ Perinara has not been happy. Every time he gets scrapped, he has a big blow up to the referee. Wayne Barnes not happy with the way he's speaking to him there, and probably rightly so, I think.
Well, I could have found himself in a spot of bother, but Beauden Barrett not too concerned as he kicks the ball down to into the corner. Attacking line out for the All Blacks. That was the contact in the air there.
The tactics have been a masterstroke, I think, tonight by New Zealand. They realise how dangerous Nakatasi and Vakatawa are in attack. What they've done, they've kept them out of the game by putting the ball in behind them and exploiting their weaknesses. Really great opportunity. They put the ball in behind and then they use that as an attacking threat. Big occasion in the match here. France will really want to keep New Zealand out, otherwise it's could be game all over.
And we've got plenty of changes as well. Cruden coming on to replace Israel Dag, Xavier to replace Todd.
Just a tackle! Tackle, lads!
They need to face up physically. The French for Marina. There it is, the ball's out. Whitelock. Doesn't gain much ground. See how well organised this All Black team are. Kieran Reid. Oh, that's going to be a try. Firmino, the substitute, comes on. Now, was there a block? I'm not too sure. But Wayne Barnes, the referee from England, awards the try.
It's just great build-up of pressure there by New Zealand. Good line out. Then France did reasonably well to work it over. Then just coming in, some good offloading.
Who's talking to me?
Scott Barrett, I think it was, just come in, sucked in the defender and offloaded it in the tackle. Famuina storming onto it, and Serran was never going to stop him from that far out. New Zealand really starting to dominate now, and France will have to be careful because we know how dangerous New Zealand are in the last few minutes, last 20 minutes of the match, and this game could easily get right away from them.
Yeah, we haven't even reached the last 20 either, but try number 3 for New Zealand, and it's Famuina, who the prop for the Blues, who manages to score in his 46th match that he's playing here today in Paris. I mentioned changes before. Cruden's come on to replace Israel Dag. It's France 9, New Zealand 24. 21 minutes left to play here in Paris.
Yeah, Aaron Smith just coming on for Perinara now. Perinara having a good game, but starting to get offside of the referee, so good call. And Aaron Smith, he'll be looking to impress after really being demoted.
Jerome Kano, who's had quite a quiet game individually, but in the pack he's been working very hard, of course. Turnover ball, France pick it up. Serran releases the ball nicely to Remy Lamara. Into the 22 they go. France upping the ante and getting a little bit of momentum here. The ball went backwards, it's not a problem. Big charge here from Xavier Choki. Serran gets the ball out, and in unorthodox fashion, it's a good opportunity here. Oh, the cut through, that's going to be a try if he can ground the ball. No, he's just been held up. Girardo, France. Well, they've given, well, that just got knocked forward. That was a big mistake, that was from Ledvedek.
Yeah, very much a tale of the night there for France. Looking ever so dangerous time and time again, but just not finding a way to get over the line or to get that last pass away. Again, he looked like they were going to slide over the line, but New Zealand, they fight for everything, every inch of the field, every ball on the ground, they fight for it, not relinquishing here whatsoever.
Look what Jerome Kano's like, little last gasp tackle on Guillaume Girard, just prevented him from putting the ball over the paint. We have changes in the front row. We've also got Gaël Fickou, who's going to come on. There's Rabah Slimani, the Stade Francais player, coming on to replace Antonio.
Yes, Slimani will probably cause more headaches for the New Zealand scrum than Antonio. Really well-regarded scrummager throughout Europe, and he made a big impact last week in the set piece, and he'll be looking to do the same here tonight.
I think Wesley Fofana has made way for Gaël Fickou, the Toulouse centre. And which is a bit of a shame because Wesley Fofana has been a standout player for the Cannes de France over the past couple of weeks. A wonderful centre who's just been, well, on fire, really.
And can we just hold our weight a little?
Referee Wayne Barnes just warning the front row to hold the weight before the ball comes in. Really been a little bit messy this evening tonight, the scrums. Neither side wanting to give an inch. Rabah Slimani, the big tight head, Stade Francais, he'll be looking to get his side up and put a lot of pressure on here.
It's an interesting scenario. Oh, that's a big scrum and that's a big shove. Surely that's going to be a penalty for France. Beautifully won. Rabah Slimani is on fire. Taken quickly. Oh, that's going to be a try. Picamol goes over to the right of the sticks. I think that Mr. Barnes has blown the whistle. That's a try. That's the first try for Les Bleus, and it comes at a very important time.
Oh, what great work. We talked about in the lead up to that scrum. What what a difference this front row can make. And just as they relax, look at Rabbit-Slibany getting right under White Crockett there, giving him all types of problems. And Saran, what a ball on the inside. We talked about, we hadn't seen Picamole all day, but when the time's on and the opportunity arises, he was there, and what great work and good example by Saran of what this young number 9 can do, bringing some life back into this game yet.
He'll get called up by the Chiefs or the Blues pretty soon to see if he can go and play over there. No, outstanding play, and he's just got great handling skills. He's got a full set of skills. You can see he kicks the penalties and the conversions as well. Wonderful player, and just 22 years of age. And the kick's good, the flags go up, and we have a nice interesting final 20. Look at that pass. The reverse pass into the hands of the big man Picamole, who goes over to score France's first try of the night.
Yeah, Kieran Reid probably on that occasion. That's the type of position on the field where you want your number 8 covering on the inside. Scott Barrett getting right up off the scrum, putting pressure on Saran, but no other back rower helping him out on the inside, and that's what created the space for Picamoles to fall over the line.
Well, there's also a change. Cody Taylor replaces Dane Cole, so every single player on the bench is onto the pitch for the All Blacks now.
The All Blacks have really got nothing to lose. Last game of a very long season for them. They'll want to be really emptying the tanks and looking forward to the month-long vacation they're about to have.
It's a good clearance kick up just past, close towards the halfway line. 16 for the French, 24 for New Zealand. Here's the Crusaders hooker, Cody Taylor. His great-great-grandfather, Walter Pringle, was an All Black back in 1893. And here he is wearing the shirt to represent his country. Over 120 years on. Smith with a little kick over the top. It's not a good one. Gail Ficku collects. Watch out for the counter-rucking from the All Blacks. Ever dangerous they are. Serran gets the ball out to Lopez. Lopez doing what Beauden Barrett does. And just gone into the 22.
Back foot's in.
Solid response there from Beauden Barrett at the back.
Yeah, good little banana kick there. Would have liked France. Great little kick in behind. Found a lot of space, just not the chase. We saw when New Zealand put those kicks in, they have a great chase and puts a lot of pressure on France. Barrett on that occasion just having far too much time, enabling him to get a good little banana kick in and get up out of his half.
Guillaume Guirado. Olivon to Serran. Serran's kick. Let's see what the French can do. Charging upfield. Oh, the offload is just impeccable. Beauden Barrett getting caught up there as the French forwards just charge up. Oh, that's a beautiful piece of running, that is. Ione just breaking free. Quick ball out wide. This is where they're very, very dangerous. Cruden gets the ball out. But that's a good tackle. That's a very good tackle indeed. And Ione goes down, and it's going to be a line-out for France.
Yeah, we talked about Nakatasi and Vakatawa getting caught out a little bit with the kick, but we saw last week against Australia, they're very good on the ground on defence, and Nakatasi on that occasion just shouldering them over to the sideline and getting a great hit in.
Yeah, it was Julian Severe, of course, who was charging down the main channel. Damian Shuley coming on to logically replace this man here, the try scorer from Northampton, Picamole. Damien Chouli playing his 43rd match for Les Bleus. Another player who plies his trade down in the
2 meters. 2 meters.
in the Auvergne region of France, in the centre of France for Clermont. Top 14 winners in 2009 under Vern Cotter.
It's a maul. Yeah, it is a maul, and you collapsed it. As you said, it's a maul.
He's very matter of fact, isn't he, Wayne Barnes? He's got a bit of a comical side to him sometimes in the way that he addresses situations, but I like him. I think that he's a very, very solid and a very well organised and directive referee who makes the right decisions most of the time.
Well, it's a good way to go about it. He doesn't leave it unknown to the players what the penalty was for, and no matter if you've got an argument about why you did it, he lets you know his point of view.
He's well respected.
Beyond 15.
Line out, pinched there by the All Blacks. They start putting a bit of pressure on this defensive line. Little kick over the top by Cruden. Now they need to sort that out. That goes forward. It's going to be a scrum for New Zealand.
First one.
Yeah, I think been probably the problem area for France in the set piece for me tonight. We've seen that their scrum's very strong, but haven't really executed well in the line out. I think their tactics haven't been spot on. They've gone for options that are hard. They've gone for a lot of full line outs, put their number 9 at the front far too often, and it's meant that the All Blacks get up in the air and put some pressure opportunities on. I'd like to see them simplify it a bit, which would mean they get a lot cleaner ball and enable them to launch their attacks much more easily. But at this occasion, they're fighting too often in the set piece, not getting clean ball. Big scrum here for the All Blacks in particular after being dominated the last scrum by France, by Slimani in particular. Wright Crockett will want to try and get back in, and he's edging forward there.
Robert Slimani penalised for not engaging at the right time after the call made by Mr. Barnes.
Yeah, free kick, step back. No,
just some Rabah Slimani on that occasion trying to play some tactics against Crockett. He realised that Crockett, being dished up on the scrum before, would have been looking to get on the front foot. So he's trying to make the referee look like Crockett was pushing ahead, and referee Wayne Barnes was onto it and blew it up. But another opportunity here for New Zealand to feed the scrum.
The captain goes off, Guillaume Guirado, and on comes Racing 92's 20-year-old hooker, Kamisha. 7th match for Les Bleus. Guirado's played a good 69 minutes. But France still trail by 8 points.
Binds. Sat.
There's Slimani causing all type of problems to White Crockett there. Kieran Reid doing well, getting the ball out quickly.
Serran trying to rip the ball out of Ioane's hands. Not the case. Doesn't function this time. Oh, it's a big hit coming in on Cody Taylor. There's Xavier. Hardy this time. Ball comes out. Good big charge from Kieran Reid. Oh, good defence from Les Bleus. Smith. Cruden coming into the line.
That is a ruck.
Change of direction this time. They're working around the fringes now. He's trying to put a bit of pressure on this defence, but I'm afraid that he just couldn't get out of there, could he, Damien Chouli? Or is it Charles Olivon?
Yeah, just off his feet on that occasion. Had hold of the ball on the first go at it, but just lost his feet and stayed on it, and really a silly penalty, especially when France, they've really got some energy in this contest and starting to put some real pressure on New Zealand, as New Zealand with confidence, 10 minutes to go in their whole year, and they've opted for a scrum, try and really capitalise on this field position and possession.
It's interesting how the scrum is starting to become a real important piece of ammunition for the All Blacks, whereas we would normally associate New Zealand with the fast-flowing backs, the passing out wide.
Well, I think that's why they're the best team in the world. They're good at all aspects of the game. They've got a very strong set piece, and one thing you're taught in New Zealand rugby from a young age is that you've got to do the simple things well. You've got to go to the dark places and put your head in there before you can even think about attacking. And everyone talks about New Zealand, how good they are, how dangerous they are, but it's all built on having a good, strong scrum, being very good at the breakdown, which is something that they're far better than anyone else in the world at. And then once they do that well, that creates opportunities for the Sevillas and the Bowden Barretts out wide to really orchestrate things. But no matter what you say, New Zealand builds their matches on winning it up front, first of all.
And they learn from a very young age the full skill set in each and every position in New Zealand, which enables them to just pick out the trick or the move that they would like to, in whichever position they've been chosen to play. The Marseillaise ringing out as Cruden goes closer towards the French try line. Well, coming off his feet, I think.
It's a tough one, that one of...
Is Sevilla, I think, who just charged in.
It's easy to fall in that trap. When someone makes a good break and you're up there looking for the pass, but it doesn't come, and then you sort of try and duck in behind and get the clean out, and you're not in straight and you end up going off your feet. It's a tough one, but as soon as the ball goes to ground, you've got to work to get in behind, and not doing it on that occasion, Sevilla, and a real let off for France. They really need to start to capitalise now and get down the other end of the field.
Well, you can't really disguise a missed clear-out, can you, David?
Not at all.
Trying to do an impersonation of a Marvel comic hero. There's the line-out that's been lost. Oh, it's been won back. They're quite fortunate there. And here's Cyril Bai. And Serang gets the ball out to Rabah Slimani. France with a bit of possession here. They're 7 minutes to go and 8 points down. Going to attack the line now. What can Serang do with this? Gets the ball out to Vahamahina. It's a big charge there from Kami Shah. Damian Shuli. Lopez out to Fiku. Here they go. Just moving the ball around. But running out of space over on that far side.
They're moving the ball around side to side well, but we haven't seen all match. They haven't really threatened New Zealand up the middle of the field. They look dangerous out wide, but too often they go there and it's not on. They got to mix that up with sucking New Zealand into the middle of the field, and that'll create even better and more opportunities out wide.
A little bit of spillage there from Smith, but doesn't he do well? But I'm afraid that there was a block, and that's all that Mr. Barnes needed to offer a penalty for Les Bleus. Now they've got a problem. Oh, there's a bit of verbal... Oh, well, not a little bit more than a verbal backlash. The shenanigans have kicked off. You know, I don't know. I think it was instigated by some back chat. But the steam has been released, and I think we're okay to see what's happening here. There's Serang. Oh, there's a charge with the head by Sevilla.
Yeah,
I think that's what triggered it, I think, David.
Yeah, definitely. Sevilla coming in, not using his arms and charging into the man with his back turn. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a second look at this. It's
that's the penalty. Go and speak to your players. Let's calm it down last 5 minutes.
Oh, nothing too bad. Binding with the arm, so just a bit late.
Of course, Q. Of course.
The trouble was, Vahamahina was just receiving some treatment a couple of moments ago, and they've already lost Johan Maestri to injury. They won't want to lose another lock.
Didn't give the ball 10 meters.
Now, do they go for goal? which will make it a 5-point game with just a few minutes remaining.
No, definitely. You look at this match so far leading up, New Zealand scoring 2 easy tries, 1 intercept and 1 from a cross kick out of position. You take those away, France really have dominated this game. If you're the French coaching staff and you're talking about how can we improve, there's a lot of good things here.
This is an important kick for Baptiste. And he nails it. It's a 5-point game, ladies and gentlemen, going into the last few minutes, and the All Blacks will give the ball back to France with just over 3.5 minutes to go.
This is a real test now for France of how they execute their sets to get out of their zone. New Zealand will put a good kick in with a good chase, and it's up to France, and in particular Serran and Lopez, to organise this team and get them in the right areas of the field so they've got an opportunity to win this match.
Well, they've won the ball back, the All Blacks, with 3 minutes to go. It's Savea who picks the ball up, head down into the traffic. Smith out to Bowden Barrett. And that's going to be a defensive line out under pressure from the All Black forwards, and they haven't got a good winning percentage in this set piece. It's going to put a lot of pressure on these guys to produce the goods.
Smart stuff there from Barrett, really putting a great kick in, and France have got to work nearly the full length of the field if they're going to get over the line here.
Vahamahina juggling with the ball. Now what are they doing here? Damian Shuley don't want to give the ball away here. Whitelock trying to pinch the ball. It's not going to happen. Give the ball away, and that's basically game over. Pick and go, a metre away from their try line. Well, that's risky business, isn't it?
Yeah, we heard it. We can hear in the background Aaron Smith just rallying his troops. They're telling him to be patient, not give a penalty away, stay on their feet, and you can hear him screaming at them, and he's really the little general behind this forward pack.
It's one of those very awkward situations for a young scrum half like Serran. What do you do? What do you do? You've got to make your mind up within split seconds, not even. But the clearance kick, okay, that's good, but it's New Zealand who have possession. Just over a minute to go, and they're taking their time, basically.
Just on that occasion, France, a minute to go in the match, they need to win the ball, not even getting up off the ground to defend the line out. Just not good stuff, not in smart, intelligent rugby, and they're the things they've got to learn from this great All Black side.
They've got to be disciplined, they can't give away a penalty, otherwise it's game over. Smith gets the ball out to Cruden. Savea with fresh legs just ducks and dives into the 22. They can turn the ball over, France. Well, could be quite interesting, but with only seconds left, it looks like New Zealand are going to finish off their tour with a victory. They're quite happy with a bit of pick and go. Whitelock. Now they need to work the French, the breakdown. They want to get hold of the ball. Well, it's there for the taking if they want it. It's there if they want it, but it's New Zealand who pick the ball up and spin the ball out wide to Kieran Reid. Ione cutting a fine line. And there it is. The ball's been kicked out. Game over, and that's a victory for the All Blacks. It must be disappointing for the French fans, as you can hear. They were hoping that the ball would stay alive for a little bit longer. Not the case. And France, well, they register their second defeat in 3. They beat Samoa 52-8 in their first match in Toulouse 3 weeks ago. They lost by 2 points here at the Stade de France last week against Australia, and today they just come up a little short, having given away 2 tries basically to the world's best team. France 19, New Zealand 24.
Yeah, great win for New Zealand in what's been a memorable season to finish it off. I think they probably weren't at their best today, but they just had just enough class and enough control to get over the top of a much improving France. They'll learn a lot from this match. They did a lot of good things. Just that last pass too often not going to hand when they could have easily scored a couple more tries themselves. But New Zealand, led by Beauden Barrett, just controlling things a little bit too well. And we just saw there in the dying stages when the game was still up for grabs just how well they won that kickoff when they had to win it. And they just played France back into the corner, and France really never looked like having an opportunity of getting a chance to score after they got back into the match.
Well, we did expect New Zealand to click into a different gear in the last 20 minutes. It didn't really happen. It was just that they grinded it out to a certain extent. It really was France's game to lose, and well, just giving away 2 tries basically crippled them for the rest of the game.
Yeah, definitely. I think giving that intercept away in particular was the big one. The first try of the match, the cross kick, was just very well executed and smart tactics. But that intercept came off France making a line break, being on the front foot, and it was a result of Machino not getting to the breakdown quick enough, which meant that they couldn't capitalise on the momentum they had. Barrett got back on the line, got off the line again, and sprinted away to score. But I think there were some promising things. Serran in particular looked very good when he came on, and as the pace picked up, France rallied behind him and they looked dangerous. They got a lot of offloads away. I think we probably haven't seen this many line breaks in a match all year against the All Blacks, so that's a big thing that this young French side can build on, and something that they can look forward to leading into the Six Nations after Christmas.
Guy Vez, he'll probably interpret this defeat as a game that we really should have won.
Well, I think so. I think he'll be using it as a learning opportunity. You can't get a better game than this against the world's best to have a look at what you really need to work on. And for me, a couple of things really stick out. One thing, the positional play of their back three and their 2 wingers in particular. They look very comfortable in normal defence, but as soon as the ball goes in behind them, they got caught out. Brice Dulin got isolated a lot in backfield, which gave New Zealand a lot of momentum. The other thing in the line-out, they really didn't have a lot of clean ball on their own throw. A lot of that was due to the tactics, the formations they were using. Having their halfback at the front crowded the line out a bit. In defence, they didn't get up. They were too busy trying to read New Zealand, and not, which is a result of the way they play the rugby in the forwards in France. And also, they've got to start looking. They're very good, and probably as good as anyone else at spreading the field, mixing backs and forwards in the back line. But they've got to look at some more attacking opportunities in the middle of the field to get on the front foot, to use those wide perimeters. You can't just go wide, and they did that a little bit too early, and that cost them a few turnovers.
Well, that was the 57th clash between France and the All Blacks, and now it's 44 wins for Steve Hanson's side. 1 draw back in 2002, and of course 12 victories for France, but they couldn't retaliate. They couldn't try and erase that crushing defeat from the quarterfinals of the Rugby World Cup in Cardiff last year. They couldn't get back and avenge that result. I don't know what Steve Hansen will think. I think that he'll probably say, look, we lost that match in Chicago. We managed to beat Italy, and now we've beaten Ireland, of course, and now we just managed to get this result in France. But I don't think he'll be really over mad about this performance, saying it was one of the best performances that we've actually played. But he'll probably say, "Oh, the boys were quite tired because it's the end of the season." Possibly, that's a good enough excuse, I suppose.
Well, definitely, it's been a long season. It's been on the back of that World Cup win as well. So they went into the season tired. But I think it'll be more a relief for Steve Hansen. I think it's been a long season, but in the end, they're just far too experienced and cohesive, and they really pulled it together when it counted. They had a lot of... They gave France a few opportunities through France's good play, but when it counted, the way they controlled that game in the last 5 minutes, they were never in doubt. They knew what they had to do, they executed, and they did it, and that's why they're such a great side.
Was that the right decision to actually go for the penalty with Baptiste-Saint rather than go for the corner?
Yeah, they had no other choice really at that stage. If they win that kick-off, then they have five minutes to get back down into some field position. It was the right call. New Zealand, interestingly, just fall short of their record for most tries in a year, just falling short of the 81. They finished with 80 tries for the season, so a record-breaking season, but not record-breaking on the try front, but very close.
So Guy Novès now has to, look at exactly what's happened. There's a couple of months break before, of course, we get back to international matches. Guy Novès, I'm pretty sure and adamant that he'll know which players he wants to pick for the 2017 Six Nations campaign.
Yeah, I think so for sure. I think Lopez, he's probably, with Tron Duke injured, he's probably a definite person they got to stick with and build during the Six Nations. He's got good cohesion with his Clermont centres around him, and I think with him there and building and learning, they improved their line out. We know they've got a good scrum. They'll be a dangerous team, and they'll cause a couple of upsets in the Six Nations, and they'll be very they'll fancy themselves to have a good season.
Well, France showed exactly what they were capable of doing against Samoa. That was quite an outstanding performance, with Vakatawa scoring a hat-trick of tries down in Toulouse. That match against the Wallabies last weekend, well, that was... it could have been a win. It was the second-string side for Michael Cheika, but of course, this match tonight, well, it was there for the taking, really. It really was. But Beauden Barrett really showing why he is the 2016 World Rugby Player of the Year. His game management is just the best in the business. He makes the right decisions when he's kicking the ball through. He makes the decisions when he's making the short, slick passes out wide. He knows how to position himself on the field. Really a standout player.
Yeah, definitely. We talk so often about, because he's so exciting with the ball in hand, and we saw it with that intercept, but really when it counted, I think a lot of that is down to a number of reasons. A great coaching staff, which they have, and also they've got a cohesive unit. So he's learnt from Dan Carter, he's learnt the finesse that Dan Carter brought to this side, and he does a lot of that, but then does it in the Beauden Barrett way. And what a great effort all round, and what a great season for the All Blacks.
Okay.
They'll be lauded for this season for a long time.
And here he is, the man himself.
So, Beauden, what about this game today? Very, very tough game against the French, no?
Yeah, very physical, very stop-starty. Not a lot of flow. It was quite frustrating. We had to work really hard to get our points, and that's a credit to the French side. They're a great side and very difficult to play here.
You played a lot with the feet today. It was a solution, you think?
Sorry?
You played a lot with the feet. You kicked the ball,
I thought that their defence was great, so we had to, put the ball behind them to get numbers to drop. So, that's just me reacting to the players outside me to get the ball to the space.
What about the team? A bit tired at the end of the season, right?
Looking forward to a break, but it's been a challenging tour for us, and it's great to finish here in France and Paris, and it's a great test here for us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, he's very humble, isn't he? He comes from a big family, of course, big farming family, and with his brother Scott playing with him as well. I mean, it's just quite a wonderful situation. And the Sevillas as well, two brothers. That's two pairs of brothers playing in the same team, which is quite remarkable, but very simple, very modest and pragmatic with his approach. It's simple, isn't it, rugby, if you actually think about it? Yeah, I had to kick more, I had to kick behind the defence because the defence was strong. It's as simple as that. You look for those gaps and you take advantage of it.
Well, that's what I love about New Zealand rugby. They don't try and overcomplicate things. Everyone can overcomplicate this game of rugby. You can talk about all the fancy moves, all the fancy tricks that you can do, but really it just boils down to running straight, running with momentum, sucking in defenders, and then when that's on, using the hands with good straight running. And that's what New Zealand do. They run straight, they run hard, and when it's on to pass, they pass, and that's all they rely on.
So it's going to be a nice break for the All Blacks now, and for the French, they're back. It's top 14 rugby once again next weekend, so a very busy season in France. But for the All Blacks, yeah, it's well, it's going to be Super 15, isn't it, that's going to be kicking off next, which is in a month's time?
Yeah, as Barrett said, they're looking forward to a hard-earned break, I think, and they'll rejuvenate themselves, and we'll see them back in around 6 months' time. But